I'm a physiotherapist. We are going to be talking about pain between the shoulder blades today. So, I see so many patients who walk into the clinic and say, we have pain in between our shoulder blades, and they have no clue what's going on. Okay, yeah, before I go on, if you're watching me on the live, just say hello so I know you're here. If you're watching me in the replay, please comment #replay so I know you've been here. And at the end of this video, if you like what I'm talking about, you can go over to my YouTube. This video will live on my YouTube. So you can go over and you can subscribe to my YouTube. And if you want to be notified of new content that is added to YouTube at least like twice a week, uh, do press on the bell icon so that you would be notified of any live videos or new videos that go onto my YouTube channel. So I'll leave a link to the YouTube in my description below. And for you, those of you who are watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio, so you can go from there. Okay, so I have so many patients who come and say, oh, we've got pain in between the shoulder blade. It's like a sharp pain, comes anytime, can be 24/7, or it could be on and off, but it's quite a nagging pain. It's a very, very typical sign of a few conditions that I see on a regular basis. There are quite a few conditions, but I'm going to cover two major ones here. Okay, so as usual, the first one is a posture, right? So it's related to your posture. So many of us in today's world, we have a forward head posture, and to compensate for that, we've got rounded shoulders. So imagine if you have a forward head posture, right? You're looking at a screen all day long, you're like this, or you're like, when you're looking at a document, you're out here. To compensate for this forward head, gradually the shoulder gets rounded. Now, can you imagine the amount of pressure that you're exerting on your thoracic, that is your mid back and your neck muscles and the spine there? So, what happens is when you have this posture, your muscles are constantly tired. Okay, we're talking about the thoracic mid back muscles. Okay, let's focus on that, localized to that area. So, your muscles, when you're here, your muscles between the shoulder blades, that area, they are constantly tired and they are constantly stretched. So, if this is the optimal length for the muscle sitting there, when you're like this, obviously it's getting stretched, right? So, when it is stretched, it gradually over a period of time gets weaker and weaker, and these front muscles, they tend to shorten and they tend to get tighter and tighter. So one of the particular peculiar things about the mid back muscles is that you will not come to know that you have so much stiffness in your spine or so much pain unless you start to get that sharp shooting pain in the muscles, right? And that's when you've had this posture for a very long time. It's chronic, right? So but it's never too late to fix it, which I'll talk about later. So what happens is, if say I decide, okay, I've got rounded shoulders, I'm gonna straighten myself out, I'm not gonna round my shoulders. So what happens, I sit like this, I start off like this, very good, and then after a while, I again go back into my rounded shoulder posture or my forward head and or forward head posture. Why? Because the muscles that have been lengthened over a period of time, they get weak and they do not have the strength, the stamina to hold up a straight posture, a correct posture over a period of time. And also because these muscles in the front, they're all short and tight, they cannot lengthen for a long period of time. So you see, it's posterior muscles, as the back muscles, and the front muscles, the balance is quite off. That's what is referred to as like a muscular imbalance. Okay. Another thing is, when your head is forwards like this, right? So when I say forward head, what it basically means is your earlobe is not sitting over your shoulder. Okay, so you're somewhere here. So if I draw a straight line from this shoulder, or if I draw a straight line from this earlobe, it falls in front of my shoulder. It does not fall on my shoulder tip. So this is ideal, this is not. Okay, you can have varying degrees of forward head. You could be just a little forwards or too forwards. Okay, so anyway, going back to, if you're here, what happens is you're rounded, and then your thoracic spine is working really hard. The muscles, ligaments in that area are working really hard to balance your head here, right? So that area tends to get really overloaded. The muscles eventually give in, and you start to get that pain, that that sharp pain in that stretched out area. That is your number one reason, which is very, very common. We have such a flexor dominant position all the time. When you're cooking, reading, driving, sitting, watching Netflix, every time you're like this, right? And those of us who sit on computers, which is most of the population, I mean, sit at a desk with a computer in front of them, that's most of the population. So obviously, there's a lot of rounding there. Okay, the second most common and not many people know about it. That reason can actually sit in your cervical spine. Yes, you're right. So you heard that right. The cervical spine can refer pain down to in between your shoulder blades, specifically your lower cervical spine. Your cervical spine is made up of 7 vertebrae sitting on top of each other. The nerves coming out from the side, the small joints of the in between the vertebrae on the side here. So if this is my neck, I'm talking about these joints on the side here. So you have joints there, and the nerves are coming out at every segment. What I mean is between every 2 vertebrae. If the lower cervical spine, so that is about C5, 6, 7, around there, the lower 3 or 4 cervical vertebrae, the nerve is getting irritated, it can actually manifest and show up as pain between your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades are basically, if this is your, say, thoracic spine, your shoulder blades are like triangular bones sitting on either side of your thoracic spine, right? So it can refer pain to like the top, mid, or lower part of the muscles between your shoulder blades to your thoracic, between the shoulder blades and the thoracic spine, right? So depending on which nerve is affected. So if you have a neck problem and you're also getting thoracic pain, don't be scared. It's not a new pain. Most probably, if you're getting radiating pain and you have nerve that are irritated in the cervical spine, it's probably coming from your cervical spine. Obviously, you will have to go to a physiotherapist or a doctor or get some scans done in order to confirm this. Um, so now what happens? There are many other conditions really that can manifest as pain between the shoulder blades. A few are related to your heart and lungs, which can be quite dangerous. Few are related to your muscles, bones, ligaments, etc. So if you want to know more about these conditions, um, I'm going to write a blog on this, and I will leave the link in the description, and I'll leave the link in the bio for those who are watching me on IG, that's Instagram. And if you want to know the solution to the problem, the simple exercises that you can do to stretch out these tight muscles, to strengthen these weaker muscles. If you want to know the very simple, easy to do exercises, I am right now running a series of exercises on my free Facebook group, which is called Pain Free Dynamic Life. And I'll leave the link to the description to my Facebook group down here and in the bio for Instagram, those who are watching on Instagram. These exercises are simple and they will start you off on the correct path. So feel free to pop into the group and let me know how you go. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll be more than happy to help. I hope that was useful, and have a good day wherever you are. Okay, bye.